Morning, grade 11s. How are you? Hope you had a good weekend. Let's get into today. As is said on the classroom stream, today's work will be a key to page 102 to 103, and we'll be going on from there. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to do these with different colors. I'm going to do the odd ones in red and the even ones in blue. And I'm just going to put them on the same graph. So I want you to graph these and tell me 5 points. So since they're in vertex form, which we remember y equals ax minus h plus, I can't remember what letter we used. I think it's P and Q. I can't remember how we wrote this before. There's a lot of ways. Some people put H and K there. I don't remember what we did. I'm too lazy to go back and check. So, but the important thing to remember is that P is the X vertex opposite sign, and Q is the Y vertex with the regular sign. So when I look at this first question right away, I know that the vertex is at -4, +2, and I forgot to write this. When A is positive, it goes up. When A is negative, it goes down. And A is the stretch. So here I can see it's a -A, so my parabola is going to go downwards. So I go to -4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2. There's my vertex. I want to label 5 points. So the first point, my vertex, is 4, -2. My axis of symmetry is x equals, I wrote 4, -2, and not -4, 2. My x equals -4. That's my axis of symmetry, that line that goes right through the middle of the parabola. And then I want to label 5 points. So there's 1. Now, since A is 1, that means I follow the regular parabola pattern. So over 1, and then because it's negative, down 1. And then I have the same thing over here. So that point right there is going to be -3, 1. -3, 1. And then -5, 1. Then I would go over 2 and down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that exact same point, 1, 2, 3, 4 away on the x-axis over here. So that is -2, -2. And that is -6, -2. And there's my 5 points. And then I sketch it. And it says it wants the range. So all my y values have to be less than or equal to +2, because there's no y values up here. So let's do this one. My vertex is 4, 1. My axis of symmetry is x equals 4. And I can see it's a positive parabola, but it's got a stretch. We remember that in a regular parabola, we go over x and we go up or down x squared. But when there's a parabola stretch, when a is a number, we got to remember if there's an ax, then we go ax. So in this case, we go to our vertex, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1. There's our first point. Now normally we'd go over 1, up 1, because over 1 and then up 1 squared. Then over 2 and up 2 squared, which is 4. But now we've got a value here, so we got to go over 1 and up 2 times 1. And then we got the exact same point over here. So that is going to be 5, 3, and 3, 3. Then I'm going to go over 2, and I would normally go up 4, but I have to go up 2 times 4, so it's up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the way up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 4 over to the left. And that's going to be 6, 6, 9, and 2, 9. And I'm going to sketch it in. And my y's have to be greater than or equal to 1. Because this means it's a maximum. So my parabola goes like that. And this means it's a minimum. So my parabola goes like that. So again, here we go. Red, blue. So the red one, my vertex right away is 1, 1. X equals 1. And since that's negative, it's that kind of parabola, which means y has to be less than or equal to 1. Now I can label my points. 1, 1. There's a stretch of -3. So I go over 1, and I would normally go down 1 squared, but now I got to go down 1 squared times 3. So I go down 3. And then I know the next point is over there on the x. 2 away on the x-axis, but at the same y level, because that's how parabolas work. And now my next one is going to go right off the graph, isn't it? Because normally I should go over 2 and down 4, but I got to go to over 2 and down 3 times 4, which is 12. So I'm going to go right off the graph. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a dot down here. I can't even put this one on the graph, but it's going to be tall and skinny. So I got to use my knowledge of math in order to graph this. So I know I'm at 1, 1, and then I know I'm at 2, -2, and 0, -2. Now I know the next one is going to be over at 3, and I'm going to have had to go down 12, so it's 3, -11, and -1, -11. Over here, my vertex is 4, 2, easy peasy. X equals 4. It's negative, so y has to be less than or equal to 2, and then we graph it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, no problem at all. But this 1/2 makes it weird. Normally I would go over x, and since it's negative, I'd go down x squared. But I gotta go half of that now. So I'm gonna go over 1 and down 1/2. That's a pain, because I can't do it exactly. So I'm gonna go over 2, and I would normally go down 4, 2 squared, but since I have a 1/2 here, I gotta remember, I'm going down 1/2 of x squared. So over 2 down 2. Over 2 down 2. And that gets me 6, 0, 2, 0. And then normally I'd go over 3 and I'd go down 9, but I got to go down half of 9. That's a pain. So I'm going to go over 4, and I would normally go down 4 squared, which is 16, but I got to go half of that. 2, 4, 6, 8. 4 to get to the axis of symmetry, then 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to my next point. Up here, 1, 2 to get to the axis of symmetry, then 2 away from the axis of symmetry. And I get that one. So the thing you got to take away from this is as A gets bigger, the parabola gets skinnier. But when A is between 0 and 1, the parabola actually widens out. So I'm just going to graph these ones, less talk. Vertex -2, 1. X equals -2, y has to be less than or equal to 1. It's got to stretch over 1 down 2, 1, 2, over 2 down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4 away there, and then it looks like this, which gets me -2, 1, -3, -1, -1, -1, -4, -7, and 0, -7. Over here, vertex equals -4, -3, x equals -4, y, this is a minimum, so it has to be greater than or equal to -3. There's my vertex. Over 1 up 2, over 1 up 2. That gets me -4, -3, -3, -1, -5, -1, over 2 up 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, which gets me -2, 5, and -6, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's that one. And finally, the last two. Oops. Vertex equals 1, -3, x equals 1. That's a minimum, so y is greater than or equal to -3. 1, -3. Let's graph it. 1, -3. Its stretch is 2. So I go over 1 up 2 to get to -2, -1, 0, -1, over 2 up 8, because it's got a stretch of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is 3, 5, and -1, 5. And then, oh, barf, a fraction again. So vertex doesn't change. 3, -2. X equals 3. Y is greater than or equal to -2. So 3, -2. Now this is going to get a little weird. 3, 1, 2. I'm actually going to erase the red one here because this one's tricky to graph. Now normally, again, we go that way, x, ax, and up, ax squared. So this time it's a third. So if I go over 1, I'm only going to go up a third. That's a giant pain. If I go over 2, I'm going to go up 4, which is 4/3. But if I go over 3, I should go up 9, but I go up a third of 9, so I only go up 3. So that gets me 6, 1, and then 0, 1. And then I'm going to go off the graph to the right, so I got to use my head. The next one, normally I would go over 6, and I would go up 36, right? Because that's the next number that divides by 3. But I'm going up 1/3 of 36, which is 12. So I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And over here I'd be up here at 3, 4, 5, 6, right there, which is off the graph. But we know that it's going to be 9, 9, 10, and -3, 10. And that's today's video, ladies and gentlemen. Please try to keep up with the quizzes and such. I hope everything is going well. Stay together, stay strong, stay healthy.